she said. "You'll never be as successful as him," while cheating with her married boss, so I focused on my dreams. She got fired, and he stayed married. Now I'm thriving, and she's begging me to take her back. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I never thought I'd be writing one of these posts, but here we are. This happened over the past year, and I'm finally ready to share the whole story. Names changed for obvious reasons. I'm Jake, 28, and up until 10 months ago, I was in what I thought was a solid 3-year relationship with Emma, 26. We met when we were both starting our careers. I was a junior project manager at a mid-sized consulting firm. She was a marketing coordinator at a tech startup. Back then, we were the perfect team. We'd stay up late talking about our dreams, supporting each other through the rough patches, celebrating the small wins together. Emma always had this drive that I admired. She wanted success, recognition, the whole package. I was more methodical. I believed in building something solid, taking calculated risks, earning my way up. Different approaches, but we balanced each other out. Or so I thought. The first crack appeared about 18 months ago when Emma got a new boss. Ryan, the VP of marketing, was everything I wasn't. Flashy, smooth-talking, always wearing expensive suits that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Emma would come home with stories about his latest deals, his new Tesla, his weekend in Vegas. "Ryan closed a $2 million deal today," she'd say, barely looking up from her phone. Can you imagine having that kind of impact? I'd just gotten a small promotion that week, but suddenly it felt insignificant. That's great for him. "Oh, by the way, Johnson said my presentation really impressed the client." "Jake, when are you going to start thinking bigger?" she interrupted. "Ryan started his own agency before this job. He takes real risks. I'm building something solid, Em. We talked about this. I want to make sure we have security before We talked about a lot of things." Her tone had this edge I'd never heard before. But watching Ryan work, he's just on another level. He doesn't settle for steady progress. That conversation stuck with me, but I brushed it off. Everyone gets inspired by successful colleagues, right? I had no idea how deep this obsession went. Over the next few months, everything I did got measured against Ryan's standard. I got excited about a client complimenting my work. Emma would mention how Ryan had 3 clients fighting over him that day. I surprised her with a nice dinner out. She'd casually mentioned the restaurant Ryan took the team to last week that cost twice as much. Ryan would have negotiated for more. Became her response to literally everything. Got a raise? Ryan would have negotiated for more. Chose a restaurant? Ryan would have picked somewhere better. Bought her flowers? Ryan would have gone with something more expensive. The worst part was how she started excluding me from her work life. Before Ryan, Emma would invite me to office parties, introduce me to her colleagues. Suddenly, I wouldn't fit in with that crowd. When I asked about the team dinner she went to, she'd get defensive. "It's just work stuff, Jake. You wouldn't find it interesting." But she'd come home glowing, talking about Ryan's insights for hours. How he saw the big picture. How he thought strategically. How he didn't get bogged down in details like some people. I started noticing other changes. New clothes that stretched our budget. A suddenly critical eye toward our apartment, our furniture, our entire life together. Emma began working late constantly, always on special projects with Ryan. The breaking point came 6 months ago. I came home excited because I'd finally gotten approval to lead my first major project, something I'd been working toward for 2 years. Emma barely looked up from packing what looked like an overnight bag. "That's nice," she said flatly. "I'm staying at Jessica's tonight. We have an early client meeting tomorrow." Something in her tone made my stomach drop. "Em, what's going on? You've been different for months. Are we okay?" She stopped packing and turned to face me. For a second, I thought I saw guilt flash across her face. Then her expression hardened. "Jake, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and honestly, we want different things. I need someone who matches my ambition. I am ambitious. I just got promoted twice this year, Jake." She said my name like she was explaining something to a child. "Ryan is buying a second office building. You're excited about a $3,000 raise. Don't you see the difference?" The words hit like a punch to the gut. This is about Ryan? This is about me needing more. You're content being average, and I can't pretend that's enough anymore. I want designer bags and nice cars and a partner who thinks bigger than monthly budgets and 5-year plans. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Are you sleeping with him? That's not what this is about. but she wouldn't meet my eyes. This is about incompatible life goals. I'm moving out. I watched her pack the rest of her things in silence. 3 years together, and it came down to me not making enough money fast enough. When she was done, she stood by the door like she was waiting for me to beg or fight or promise to change. Instead, I said, "I hope you find what you're looking for. Don't make this harder than it needs to be, Jake. You'll understand someday that this is better for both of us." "I understand now," I said quietly. "You're right. We want different things." She left, and I sat in our suddenly too quiet apartment, feeling like my entire life had been judged and found wanting. But here's the thing about hitting rock bottom: it clarifies things. For months, I'd been second-guessing myself, wondering if Emma was right about my lack of ambition. Suddenly, I realized she was wrong about what mattered, but maybe right about one thing. I had been playing it too safe. I'd been developing a business idea for over a year, a consulting service for small businesses that couldn't afford the big firms. I'd done all the research, had potential clients interested, but kept putting it off because it felt risky. Emma leaving was the push I needed. I threw myself into the work. Nights, weekends, every spare moment. I wasn't trying to prove anything to Emma. I was proving something to myself. Within 2 months, I had my first client. Within 4, I had 5. I kept my day job for stability, but my side business was growing. For the first time in months, I felt like myself again. I didn't check Emma's social media. I didn't ask mutual friends about her. When people brought her up, I changed the subject. I was genuinely busy building something I cared about. Then, about 4 months after she left, I got the first text. "Jake, I made a huge mistake. I got caught up in something that wasn't real. Can we talk?" I stared at the message for a long time, then deleted it without responding. A week later, our mutual friend Lisa called. "Jake, Emma's going through a really hard time right now. She really misses you. Maybe you could just call her. I'm focusing on my business right now, Lisa. I hope she figures things out." "But Jake, she made a mistake. She sees that now." "We all make choices, Lisa. I'm making mine too." The calls and messages kept coming. Emma tried different angles, apologies, nostalgia about our good times, hints about how much she'd learned. I responded to none of it. I wasn't being cruel. I was protecting the peace I'd finally found. Then, 2 months ago, she showed up at my apartment. I'd been working late on a client proposal when I heard the knock. Through the peephole, I saw Emma standing in the hallway, looking nervous and small in a way I'd never seen before. I opened the door, but didn't invite her in. "Mark, please. I know I hurt you, but I've learned my lesson. He used me. I see that now." It took me a second to realize she meant Ryan. "I'm sorry that happened to you. We were good together. We had plans. I just got confused by all the success around me. But that wasn't real success. You're building something real. You weren't confused, Emma. You knew exactly what you wanted. But I was wrong." Her voice cracked. "You're the stable one, the one who really cares, the one who was actually there for me. You're right, I am stable. And I've learned to value that about myself." She tried for another 10 minutes, but I could see she was fighting a losing battle. I wasn't angry anymore, wasn't hurt. I was just done. "Jake, please, can't we just try? I know I don't deserve it, but, Emma, I genuinely hope things work out for you. But that chapter of my life is closed." I closed the door gently and went back to my proposal. I heard her car start a few minutes later. The full story came out over the following weeks, mostly through Lisa, who couldn't help herself. Emma and Ryan had been having an affair for months before she left me. She thought she was his girlfriend, that he was going to leave his wife for her. Turns out, Ryan was married with 2 kids, something he'd hidden well at work. When Emma finally confronted him about his family, he was brutally honest. She was just work stress relief. He'd never planned to leave his wife, and with HR starting to investigate their relationship, one of them had to go. Guess who got thrown under the bus? Emma was fired for unprofessional conduct. Ryan kept his job, his wife, his kids, and probably moved on to the next naive employee who thought his attention meant something special. Emma struggled to find work at her level after that. Turns out, getting fired for sleeping with your boss doesn't look great on applications, especially in a tight industry where everyone knows everyone. Meanwhile, my business kept growing. I was making more from my side consulting than my day job, so I finally took the leap and went full-time. Scary as hell, but the most rewarding thing I'd ever done. Last month, I was at an industry networking event when I spotted Emma across the room. She looked good, professional, put together, but there was something different about her energy. Less confident, more cautious. She made her way over during a break. "Jake, I didn't expect to see you here. You look really good." "Hi, Emma. How are you?" "I'm rebuilding. New job, fresh start. Lower level than before, but it's honest work." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "I've thought about you a lot. That's good that you're moving forward. I know I don't deserve it, but I keep thinking about us. About what we had before everything got complicated. We did have something good. I learned a lot from that relationship." Hope flickered across her face. "So did I. Maybe we could try again. I'm different now, I promise. I understand what really matters. I'm sure you are. But I'm different too. I know what I want in a partner now." Her face fell. "And that's not me. Emma, I genuinely wish you the best. But that chapter of my life is closed." Before she could respond, I felt a familiar hand on my shoulder. Rachel, the woman I'd been seeing for the past 4 months, appeared beside me with 2 drinks. "Sorry, the line was crazy," Rachel said, handing me a beer. She looked at Emma with polite curiosity. "Hi, I'm Rachel." "Emma," she managed, and I could see her taking Rachel in. Rachel wasn't flashy or high maintenance. She was a teacher who'd started her own tutoring business, someone who understood the value of building something meaningful over time, someone who got excited about my small wins and celebrated them like they were major victories. "Nice to meet you," Rachel said warmly. "Jake was just telling me about the new contracts he signed this week. 3 new clients. I'm so proud of him." I saw Emma's face change as she realized what she was looking at. Not just that I'd moved on, but who I'd moved on with. Someone who valued the exact things she'd dismissed as settling for average. "Well," Emma said quietly, "I should let you 2 get back to your evening. Take care of yourself, Emma," I said, and meant it. She nodded and walked away. Rachel squeezed my hand. "Ex-girlfriend?" she asked. "Ancient history," I said, and realized I meant that too. That was 3 weeks ago. My business just signed its biggest client yet, and I'm opening a second location next month. Rachel and I are talking about moving in together. Emma hasn't tried to contact me since that night. I think about the whole situation sometimes, but not with anger or bitterness. Emma taught me something valuable. I needed to learn my own worth before I could be with someone who truly appreciated it. She was so busy chasing what looked successful that she missed what actually was successful. A relationship built on genuine support, a career built on solid foundations, a life built on values that don't shift when something shinier comes along. Ryan gave her the excitement she thought she wanted. But excitement without substance is just chaos. She learned that lesson the hard way. I learned mine too. Never apologize for taking the steady, honest path. The people worth having in your life will value that journey, not judge it. Emma was wrong about one thing, though. She said I'd never be as successful as Ryan. But success isn't just about money or flashy titles. It's about building something that lasts, something you're proud of, something that makes you wake up excited every day. By that measure, I'm already more successful than Ryan ever was. And Emma? She's finally learning the difference. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.